In this section, we're going to look at follow and no follow links. Now, there's a concept called link juice and page authority, and what this is about is if you've got lots of high quality relevant websites linking to you, then providing their standard links, what happens is something called link juice flows from their website to your website. It's a kind of a voting system, if you like. Now, this only really works if we're talking about high quality, high authority and relevant websites that link to you. Now the thing is, once your website has accumulated a good amount of link juice, what you don't want is to squander that link juice by in turn linking to other websites, and then the link juice flows away from your website to somebody else's website. So it's important to realize that if you do have a standard link from your website to somebody else's website, then link juice will normally flow from your website to their website. Not all of it, obviously, but it's like a kind of voting system. You have lots of good quality links to you, the link juice flows into you, you link from your website to somebody else, and some of that link juice flows out to their website. Now, what a lot of people don't realize is that the standard link, the normal default link, is what's called a follow link. And what that means is that Google will follow that link. What you can do if you want is specify an attribute called nofollow to the link. So in an ideal situation, if you have lots of high quality, relevant websites linking to you, then the link juice flows in your direction. If you then have some links on your website to other people's websites, if you mark those as what are called nofollow links, it means the link juice stays with you. And even though users can click on the nofollow link and quite happily follow the link to another website, it means that Google will not follow that link, so the link juice doesn't flow away from your website. But as I say, it's important to realize that follow or no follow doesn't matter as far as people are concerned. They can click on the link. So follow or no follow purely applies to Google. Now, Google actually introduced the no follow attribute way back in 2005, and it was really to help reduce link spamming and blogs, because an awful lot of people were having articles placed on article directory sites and blog sites and all sorts of things, and the only reason they were doing it is so that they would get a link back. So what a lot of social media sites do now is they mark their outgoing links as a default of no follow, which means that that way it's not looked at as an attempt to spam. So as I say, if you had lots and lots of articles posted somewhere, then you might find people could read those, and if they find them interesting, they could obviously follow those links back and come to your website. But Google would not follow those websites, so you get no SEO benefit from it. Now, down at the bottom, there's an example of a no-follow link. So in this case, don't worry about the actual syntax. This is just a piece of HTML code. But we've got a link here to a website called example.com. The anchor text is just the word example, but you'll notice the rel equals no follow in inverted commas. That's the bit that makes this a no follow link. As I say, people can follow it, but Google will not follow the link. Now, it's not that difficult to manually go and edit the code yourself, but why reinvent the wheel? If you're using WordPress, as always, that's the great thing about WordPress, there's always a plugin for whatever you want to do. And of course, there are no follow WordPress plugins. So generally, when you insert a link within WordPress, you get this insert edit link box come up, and there's really just one option normally, this checkbox at the top, which is slightly obscured here, and what it says is open in a new window. If you install this plugin called Ultimate No Follow, literally all it does, it adds an extra text box to this dialog window here, and if you click on that, that will add a no follow, rel equals no follow attribute to the link. That's literally all it does. So as you can see, this is the back end of one of my WordPress websites, and I've just simply installed that plugin called Ultimate No Follow, and there's no configuration really as such. You just install it and get on with it. Now if I go to a new page here, just to show you how it works, so I'll just call it temp. Literally all I have to do, so I just simply typed in a phrase that says see my other website, and I'll just simply double click on that, go here to insert a link, and in this case I'll type in the full URL to another website, like so. I'll just go to the link options here, and as you can see, instead of the one checkbox, I've now got this extra checkbox. And if I click on where it says add link, that's now done that. As you can see, if I click on this text tab here, which shows me the code in the background, sure enough, there's the rel equals no follow. So that's literally all that plugin did. Now the rel equals no follow attribute works at a link level. If you want to, you can work at a page level. So you might have a page on your website which you don't want Google to index. It's not to do with hiding it from Google. I mean, sometimes there's perfectly good reasons. I mean, if you look at the Google Webmaster Guidelines, it does say that Google doesn't like lots and lots of doorway pages. So sometimes if you're running sort of an advertising campaign or something like that, you might want to create some doorway pages that kind of link in from your advert, but you don't necessarily want Google to index these, because Google could basically interpret these doorway pages as an attempt to spam. So as I said, there are perfectly legitimate reasons sometimes for hiding pages from the Google index, because you're not really hiding them, you're just simply saying to Google, look, don't index this page, I'm not trying to spam your search engine, I'm just using this page for some other purpose which you don't need to worry about, but it's certainly not for SEO purposes. So as I say, entire pages can be marked as no follow. And the way you do that, do you remember each web page is divided into a head area and a body area? And if you remember, in the head area, things like your title and your description and stuff like that went into the head area. But if you want to, you can also add this statement here, this meta name robot content statement. So in this case, I've got two statements, one that says no index and one that says no follow. So the no index basically says to Google, look, I don't want this page to appear in your index. And the no follow basically means that even if Google does find it, it won't follow any of the links, therefore it won't interpret that page as an attempt to spam. So you don't have to have both of these attributes here, the no index, no follow. You can have, just one of either of them, or you can have both of them depending on what you want to do. But that's how you basically set the entire page to be a no follow page. Another example of using no follow is where you might have a page with possibly loads and loads of links to maybe other websites that you're interested in, or if you're a web designer, maybe you might have a portfolio with lots and lots of links to websites you created. Normally, if you had like a large amount of links on a page, Google would regard this as suspicious, but by simply having a no follow attribute in the head area, Google says, fair enough, I'll just ignore all these links, so there's no problem. And Google says, well, it's obviously not an attempt to spam the search engines, which is primarily what Google's interested in, is keeping the search engine results good. As to how you actually get this statement into the head area on a particular page, we'll look at that in a different chapter, but basically that's the method you would use. Now, many social media links, if you actually check them out, tend to be no follow links. So a lot of people think, this particular social media platform allows me to put a link in there, but it's a no follow link, so I'm getting no SEO value from it. Well, you might not get SEO value from it, but you're still getting valuable potential leads, because people can follow the no follow links back to your website. It's just that Google won't follow them. It won't sort of pass link juice. It won't pass any sort of value to your SEO, as it were. But any way of getting more visitors to your website is always a good thing. So another question that sort of springs to mind is, well, how do you know if it's a follow link or a no follow link? Well, obviously you could go and examine the code. Or the other thing you could do is you could use SEO Quake. So with SEO Quake, do you remember that's an add-on you can use with Firefox and Chrome? With SEO Quake, you can configure it so that it'll actually mark any no follow links with a strike through. As you see, a strike through basically looks like this. And that's basically how you do that. If we go and do this for real, I'll just show you how you set that up. Now here I've just got a website displayed within Chrome. I've installed SEO Quake, as you can see here, and if I go and click on that icon there, once I click on that, there's a little gear icon that's displayed. If I go and click on that, can you see here it says, highlight no follow links. And what that means is from now on, any no follow links are displayed within this particular browser will be displayed with a strike through them.